We're going to come in and down a little bit. This one's really drastic. Now after we went through, if we had the matching royal, we could go through and patch all these holes with the royal so they wouldn't show for competition purposes. Okay, there we have that. Our cake is marked, so now we can take our template off. Can always keep this for another time. Okay, we raised this up to make it eye level so that we could pipe. Now I've made my pin marks, but I'm going to emphasize them a little bit with twirling this, just a touch, because we're going to cover it. And we're going to do our first drop. Okay, we're going to set and eyeball this. Pull out. Eyeball for the drop. Like that. Okay, and then we're going to move around to this one. Do the same thing. Try and keep the same amount of drop that we had on the other one. And the distance. This is Meringue Royal. Okay. Move to the third one. Whoop. When you do this, you have a paintbrush on hand for cleanup. Okay, we're going to use our damp paintbrush to take off the royal. Do a little cleanup, trying not to put a lot of moisture on here. Rub it off. Sometimes your knife will work on scraping it off. Okay, this is practice, but you guys get the idea. Get our marks. Now I know you guys can see this hole, that hole, that hole, and that hole. My white mark is where my frosting was, and the other mark is over there. Okay. Now if I want to, take a damp paintbrush and smooth this out. Now I'm giving you the idea of this. We're not going to go around the whole thing. We're going to focus on one after this, so that you guys can get the overpiping understood. Okay, so we're going to ignore that faux pas in the fondant, and we know this is our mark, that's our mark, and that's our mark. Okay, this one's a little bit bigger on the drop. Turn it sideways to make sure it's touching the edge, which you can see there's no air between the fondant and the royal. It's actually hitting on the wall of the tier. Okay, let's go to this last one. Use the paintbrush to smooth out that bump. Okay. Yep, see a little bit of difference, a little bit more drop on that one. This is where the learning curve comes in on the practice, remembering how far of a drop you did. Take your paintbrush and knock down that tip. Okay. See how we have gap right there underneath that one? For competition, they'll look for that, so you want to make sure it's not there. And when it's fresh, you can push it in with a damp paintbrush. Want it adhering the whole way. Okay, let's go to the next one. So make our marks a little bit bigger.